Jeremy Fowler of ESPN sat down with Pat Leonard of the New York Daily News on his podcast Talkin' Ball, and he said of all the secondary free agents that are out there, Justin Simmons makes the most sense when it comes to putting pen to paper to signing with the New York Giants. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We got other quotes coming up from Fowler about Stephon Gilmore, Adoree Jackson, and even Xavier Howard. But let's go to the quotes about Justin Simmons, where he says, quote, Simmons is the one that's most attractive, I would say, he's probably going to cost $10 million, I'm guessing. So I think maybe Stephon Gilmore too. So you got to decide, do you want to allocate those kind of resources to sign a free agent? But I think when teams get into camp and they see that their safeties aren't good enough, that they start to spend that money. So I could see that. Simmons, I think, would make the most sense to the New York Giants. I mean, he's a culture changer, I'm not saying he'd be their walk in and be their best player, but I'm saying he brings some cachet. He brings a little cachet that you need. And there's no doubt about it that Justin Simmons is still an elite football player in this league. The question is, do the Giants want to allocate $10 million to go out and sign another safety? Let's break it down. Simmons last year in 15 games played for the Denver Broncos was still a really good football player. He had 70 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. The year before that, played in 12 games, gave you another 70 tackles with 6 interceptions. This is the guy on the back half of your defense you can trust to not only make plays, but get the rest of your defense in the right spot. He's a true sideline-to-sideline safety. He's going to make sure you're not getting beat deep too often. He can come down in the box and support the run as well. And I believe in a Shane Bowen defense, you would see him used everywhere on the field, in the box, on the edge, in that slot corner spot, kind of that big double strong safety position. And I think it'd be very effective with the New York Giants. You look at the safety depth chart that they have right now, headlined by Jason Pinnock and Dane Belton. You also got rookie Tyler Nubin on there. You went out and signed Mills early on in free agency. You have Riley as well here, Elijah Riley, who you signed a couple of weeks ago, and the second-year safety out of U of H, Gervarius Owens. And I'm excited about this safety room. I think Pinnock's a stud. I think he's going to continue to show why he's going to be a good player in this league for a long time. I think Dane Belton just needs more opportunities. He always seems to be in the right spot at the right time. And I'm extremely excited about Tyler Nubin in his rookie year and what he could provide. So the question from me to you is, should the Giants sign Justin Simmons? They got Tyler Nubin. They got Pinnock. I know a lot of people like Dane Belton. Do they need to go out and sign a safety? What do you think? Type S for sign. Type P for pass. I want to hear from all the real ones in the comments section. Should Big Blue sign Justin Simmons? For me, I think the Giants just have bigger needs than the safety spot right now in NFL free agency. I'm not saying pass up on Justin Simmons whatsoever. He's a damn good football player. The Giants could use a couple more of those guys. So look, if he wants to be a Giant and he wants to come join this team, be the veteran in the safety room, be a leader, transform this defense, then absolutely. But I think when you look at this overall roster, and if you only have X amount of dollars to spend in NFL free agency, there are other positions that you could add talent to, whether that's the corner position, whether that's the offensive line, as the Giants worked out Greg Van Roten earlier. We saw them work out some wide receivers as well to potentially help you with punt and kick returner responsibilities. Jakeem Grant was one of those players. Could the injury of Gunnar Olszewski be pushing the Giants to sign one of those guys? Maybe, but I think that the Giants should go out and prioritize signing a veteran cornerback over a veteran safety, and we'll tell you what Jeremy Fowler had to say about Stephon Gilmore and the New York Giants around the corner. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to a returning sponsor, one of my favorite sponsors that we got here at Chat Sports, and that is Game Time, the best ticketing app in the game. Download the app, or go to the App Store, download Game Time, and use that promo code Chat Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets easier and faster. Price on the Game Time app actually go down as you get closer to first pitch. So if you're a procrastinator like me, you're someone that's going to thrive using Game Time. You get last-minute tickets and flash deals views from the seat. I love that. You get to get a full-on view of the stage, the concert, the field, the court from the ticket that you are potentially looking to buy. I'm a major fan of Game Time. I was able to go to the Home Run Derby, a lifelong, really bucket list item for me, and I was able to do it because of the app Game Time. You can also get some tickets to go to a Yankees game, a Mets game this summer. The preseason is right around the corner for the New York Giants, so you can purchase your preseason tickets as well through Game Time. Giants games, concerts, theater events, and more. Download the Game Time app. Use that promo code ChatSports for $20 off. Download the Game Time app and create an account and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. First purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed. $20 off your first purchase in terms to apply. Jeremy Fowler says Gilmore is not all that likely for the New York Giants. Kind of just answered a couple of quick hitters from Pat Leonard on his podcast, and he said that he thinks Gilmore is most likely going to sign with the Carolina Panthers. And you know what? This was something that kind of just got under my skin a little bit and pissed me off, and I understand that maybe he wants to return to Carolina. He went to South Carolina. He's played for the Carolina Panthers before, wants to return to his hometown. But everyone told me the reason the Giants couldn't sign him is because he wanted to play for a contender. He wants to compete for a Super Bowl. Wants to play on a winning team. Since when are the 2024-2025 Carolina Panthers going to compete in the NFC South, let alone the entire NFC? Look, Stephon Gilmore is still a damn good player in this league, ranked as still a top 32 corner in this league. And the Giants have a major need there. So there's no reason to not do it. And I'm going to be honest, if Howard is willing to go play for the Panthers, if Gilmore, is willing to go play for the Panthers, the Giants need to go do whatever it takes to get it done. Fowler on Xavier Howard said, I don't know about that one. He mentioned the age, the injury issues, and the stuff that's going on off the football field. And look, we did a couple of videos last week on Xavier Howard here on the channel, and I still think he's a top corner in this league. Yes, he's 30 years old, but he still had 12 pass breakups last year. Still one of the best sticky corners in this league. I think he's got some of the best vision as well, and that could make some sense for this Giants team. Thing is, I just don't think the Giants are going to make it happen. I think the off-the-field stuff has somewhat scared them away, even though the odds makers out west, via Las Vegas, think that the Giants are the number one landing spot for Xavier Howard as well as Justin Simmons. Jeremy Fowler said, what about Adoree Jackson? This isn't a name that we've talked about too much on the channel this offseason, just because I think Adoree, kind of just talking to some people, has somewhat worn out his welcome with the New York Giants. Some people inside the building thought he kind of gave up last year, didn't want to tackle, was playing for his next contract, and just wasn't all that good and really wasn't all that available. And I thought that Joe Shane entered the offseason with the idea to get smart, tough, dependable players in this team and in this locker room. And not to be mean to Adoree, but to call him dependable would just be a lie at this point. Played in 14 games last year, 10 the year before, 13 the year before that, and 3 games the year before that. He hasn't played more than 14 games in 4 seasons. And if you're not going to be able to play on Sundays, and you're not going to be available, you're probably not going to be all that productive. And that's exactly what Jackson was last year. Unproductive for the New York Giants. His PFF grades, 40.5. Closer to 0, the worse the grade is, so that's not good. He had a coverage grade of 37. Not good at all. And his passer rating was one of the worst amongst all starting corners in the NFL. Nearly 120 at 0 interceptions, 2 pass breakups. While he had a good career in this league, Adoree Jackson's best days are behind him. And to put it nicely, Adoree Jackson is cooked. He's not a good football player anymore. I hope he gets an opportunity out there to prove me wrong, but I think the hay's in the barn on this one. His best days are behind him, and I seriously doubt that he would return to the New York Giants, as I don't think the Giants have much interest in bringing him back. So we get back to the corner depth chart, and we say, well, what are the Giants going to do? Because I think it's irresponsible to enter the season in your third year as the general manager, like Joe Shane is, and you're looking at Cordell Flott and Nick McLeod as 2 of your starting corners. No disrespect to Flott, and no disrespect to McLeod, but the Giants' cornerbacks have been a problem since Joe Shane got here. And he's been here for 3 off seasons now. And the only piece that he's added that looks like a long-term fit here is Deonte Banks, depending on what Andrew Phillips does in his rookie season. Aaron Schatz of ESPN says this, quote, only the Lions have a younger secondary than the Giants based on the average age of the 5 starters. Cornerbacks Cordell Flott, Deonte Banks, and Drew Phillips will all be 23 by the end of the season, as will rookie safety Tyler Nubin. The exception among starters is at free safety, which will either be Jason Pinnock or Jalen Mills. Well, Aaron, it's going to be Jason Pinnock, and I think that signing a veteran makes a lot of sense for this team. One of the reasons I've been so strongly opinionated on the Giants signing Stephon Gilmore is because, 1, he's a good football player, but 2, he helps your team not just this year when he's on it, but potentially next year when he's not on this team. And he's going to help Deonte Banks grow. He's going to help him continue to get better in this league. Anytime you're an up-and-coming person, whatever your job is, you're a teacher, you're a coach, you're a doctor, whatever it is, it's nice to learn the ropes and be shown some tips of the trade by someone that's been there and done that. And Stephon Gilmore is one of the best corners of this generation. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame. I think Deonte Banks can learn a couple things from him. How to watch film, how to scout your opponent, how to stay healthy, what to read, how to look at a quarterback's eyes, what to look at pre-snap, post-snap. I think it makes a lot of sense, but I don't know if the Giants are going to be all that willing to spend money because you know what? They just can't afford it, which is an absolute lie, and I'm growing tired of the fact that the Giants can't afford good football players. They got $12 million in cap space, 14 if you restructure Andrew Thomas. That's $26 million. You can go out and sign an offensive lineman and a corner and even a safety for all that money. If you had to pick one to sign, though, who would it be? Justin Simmons, Stephon Gilmore. I would go Gilmore. I think corner is a bigger need than safety. But if Simmons wants to come play here, I'm cool with that as well. All about adding talent to this team, as the Giants have been ranked as one of the worst rosters in the NFL by almost every single outlet that covers this league. Look, if Stephon Gilmore is willing to go play for the Carolina Panthers, there is no excuse for the Giants not to get this deal done. Whatever it takes. I don't care what the dollar amount is. You're entering year 3. And you know what? I would say outside of a lucky run, the vision that Joe Shane hasn't come to fruition all that much. Your offensive line is still in a bad spot. Your secondary is still in a bad spot. Major question marks at quarterback. How about you go out a player that no matter who else is around him is going to produce? That's Stephon Gilmore. Get the deal done. Makes your football team better, and you get to invest in your investment in Deonte Banks. Don't ever forget that's part of what you need to do when you're developing football players on a young football team. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. We could talk more Giants ball over there. Let's do it.